What's up, guys? This is Silverleafeon here with another deck profile for you guys. Now, it seems like I upload the deck profile for this one a lot, but that's mostly because I love staying with one deck. And if I do make other decks, I will do deck profiles on those too. I'm currently trying to work on a fire deck because I don't make enough of those. So, Charizard Braceskin or maybe even Reshiram and Zekrom. So, one of those two might be next as soon as I get more of those cards. But other than that, this is pretty much my update for this deck post Cosmic Eclipse. So, this card is cards. This deck has cards added to it from Cosmic Eclipse and all the new sets from that, including Hidden Fates if I did any from that set. But this is mostly from Cosmic Eclipse with all the new tag team cards. So without further ado, before we get started, if you guys enjoy my content, if you guys enjoy deck profiles and stuff, leave a like, comment down below, or even subscribe if you want to see more deck profiles and stuff like that. I know I've been uploading a lot of Soccer Spirits content. That's kind of been what my channel was going to be like in the beginning when I first found out about the game and how people could do it like on the computer and stuff. So that's why you've been seeing me upload a lot more, because I have it on my computer now. In fact, tomorrow, today I'm recording this on Thursday, so maybe it'll be Saturday that I will do the gotcha video. So we'll be doing a recording of me mass doing gotcha draws for whatever legendaries on the banner this week. So you guys might want to stay tuned for that if you guys enjoy those. Seems like you guys enjoy those. Those ones are the ones that get the most views compared to my Pokemon content. But I'm going to stop blabbing here. We're going to get straight into this deck profile. So starting off with what you want to be your main attackers in the deck are your two Umbreon and Darkrai. Really, really good. And for those of you guys who don't know what they do, basically what they do is for 2 Dark Energy and a Colorist, you'll do 150 damage to the active and 60 to the bench GX or EX, which is really, really good for putting pressure on your opponent, especially since Great Catcher's out now. It's basically the new kind of win condition card, especially with tag teams being the ones with 3 prize cards if they get knocked out. So we also got Dark Moon GX, which is really, really powerful. So basically, if you play this card, then if you play the GX, then you basically make sure that your opponent has like no. Hold on, your opponent can't use trainer cards in general. Like, they just can't use trainer cards. And if you have 6 energy attached to this card right here, not only can your opponent not use trainer cards, but on top of that, the active Pokemon that gets knocked out, pretty much it's just knocked out. So, really, really good. You want to save that GX move, especially for decks that you know have to revolve around 1 GX, or that you really need to get that last 3 prizes. So, really, really good GX move here. Next up, this is your support attacker right here. So we are running a 2 line of Greninja Zoroark, really, really good. Let me show you guys what it does here. So we got 2 of them, and we keep this card in the deck mostly for late game because it does 30 damage times the amount of dark energy attached to all your Pokemon. So depending on how your game goes, if your game is pretty much going smooth with this deck, you should have a lot of energy out, and you should be casually dealing around 160 to 170 damage at a time. If you got your deck out, if you pretty much got all the stuff you need, you're just attaching energy, this card will be really, really handy in the late game. Next, moving on. Moving over to your support cards that you're going to need. We got ourselves 2 Weavile GXs. Some people play 3. I like 2 mostly because it helps me not brick in the beginning of the game. So, for those of you guys who don't know what Weavile does, basically what this card does is Shadow Connection. That's the ability. And pretty much as often as you like, you can move dark energy around to your Pokemon. So it's kind of like the Aromatisse that the Sylveon EX used to play, where you move energy around, and then your Sylveon would attack, and then after that, when your Sylveon gets hurt, you'd move the energy away, heal, and then put the energy back. It's really, really good. So in the case of dark Pokemon, you want to be able to move energy around, especially onto Umbreon and Darkrai, and be able to use that Dark Moon GX attack when you get the chance. It also has a Claw Slash for 130, so it can also do some pretty good damage. You don't really want to be attacking with this thing most of the time, though. And then, of course, it even has a GX move, which you can only really use if you're really desperate. And its GX move basically searches your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto the bench. And that's pretty good, honestly, especially if you're bricking, but most of the time this deck shouldn't break that often, especially with the amount of basics that we're playing here, and the amount of search cards that we have. So that's pretty much it for the support GXs and your regular GXs. Next up, we're also playing a 3 line of Weavile. mostly to make sure that if one Weavile gets prized, that we at least have two more in the deck. Now, if all of your Weavile get prized, it's kind of like, what are you going to do? You can't really help it. So that's why we're playing 3 to make sure that we got some good luck on the prizes. Next, we're also playing a 3-line of Naganadel. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what the Naganadel does, this card's used in mini decks. I use it in Suicune along with the Quagsire, because the Quagsire kind of has the same ability as Weavile, where you can just move water energy around. But for those of you guys who don't know what it does, Naganadel here does the charging up ability, and that's its purpose in this deck. So once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon, and it could be any basic energy. So that's what makes it good, is you can throw this into any deck and then be able to get energy out. And if you have a Pokemon that can move energy around, then boom, this card could be really useful. And it's also useful against wall decks like Keldeo, where you could be able to knock out the Keldeo, whose ability says that EXs and GXs pretty much can't touch it. It has a pretty decent attack. Turning point, if you have 3 prize cards remaining, this attack does 80 more damage. Now, in the case of, let's say, one of our tag teams gets knocked out, which will happen eventually unless you're really, really good at keeping your bench clean, you'll be able to use this to maybe get something out of the way, like maybe a basic that you don't want your tag team taking a hit from, or something like that. But mostly, you want to keep this on the bench to use the charge up ability, but if you have to use it as an attacker, it's pretty decent. Next, we're also playing a 3-line of Poipole here. I like this art better than the other one, though I might have to switch just after rotation, because these ones are from Forbidden Light, and who knows what might be rotated by the time the set leaves. Luckily for us, there's other Poipoles I can play, but I like this art mostly. And then last but not least, for the lineup of our Pokemon, we are playing a 1 Mew. This is kind of for counters against other Dark Box decks, and of course Pikarom, because Pikarom hits the bench with that GX move, and it'll do a lot of damage, and it'll set you back. So it's there for the bench barrier, but if you don't need it, you can always discard it with some of the cards that I'm about to show you here. And then last but not least, we got Ditto, and it's kind of there for the evolution factor, so it can be used for Naganadel, it can be used for Sneasel, you know. It's kind of like that 4th evolution card that you can use just in case you're missing one of those ones. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the Pokemon. Now we're going to move over to supporters, and as we all know, we've always got to start off with the one and only Cynthia, so we are playing 4 of these. Unfortunately, they're not the 4-out one, haven't pulled one yet, but it's pretty good as it is. I like the whole art style where it shows the main arena, where you most likely, if you played Platinum, Diamond, or Pearl, you probably lost the first time, unless you're like a genius and you mathematically calculated anything, and you like grinded to all like hell. You probably lost against her a couple of times in those games, but also in Black and White too, where if you run into that room, you just run in there and she's standing like, oh, I want to crush you now. But yeah, we're playing for Cynthia. Really good draw supporter, shuffle your hand to the deck, draw 6 cards. At this point, about everybody knows it. The Steam decks even come with Cynthia's now. It's like it's mandatory. Before, everybody's rushing out to get those Garchomp and Riolu decks, and now you could just buy any deck. At least some of the newer ones, and they'll at least have 2 Cynthias in them. Next, we're playing Best Girl Lily here. So, yep, I said it. Best Girl Lily. Lily is, in my opinion, one of my favorite characters from females companions, and really, really good supporter card too, especially if you're going first. So draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hands. If it's your first turn, draw cards until you have 8. It's really, really good. Unfortunately, with the new rule coming around, if it does come to America, this card will get pretty much not used at all, because the new rule, for those of you guys who don't know, at least in Japan anyway, says that basically you can't use supporters, and that really cripples a lot of decks, especially evolution themed ones like mine. This deck will get crippled a lot because of that rule, so hopefully that rule doesn't come over here. There must be some reason they have it over in Japan, because they get the cards before we do, but if they have a reason for it, I mean, that rule's going to eventually come, but until that time comes, we're going to be playing Throw Lily, mostly for the draw support, as we all know. Next, we're also playing a 2-line of Erika's, so you can only play this card if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, and then you draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. So this is really good against decks that like to set up really fast and be able to get their Pokemon really fast, so really, really good draw support here. Next, we're also playing a couple of the newer cards, so we're playing a 2-line of Cynthia and Caitlyn. So the first effect for this card says that you can put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand, And you can't choose Cynthia or Caitlyn with this effect, but when you play this card, if you discard another card from your hand, then you can draw 3 cards, which is really, really good. So you want to discard an energy, or you might want to discard, like, maybe that Mew if you don't play against the deck that pretty much does bench damage. This card right here would help out a lot with draw support. Next, we're playing a 1 of Malo and Lana. I'm probably going to switch it to 2 because this card right here is really, really good. So this card is pretty much a switch, and if you discard 2 cards from your hand, maybe 2 energy or a Pokemon that you don't need, or maybe a supporter you don't need, basically anything you might not need, you get to heal 120 damage from the Pokemon you move to the bench. So let's say your Umbreon Darkrai is in a sticky situation, you want to move it out of knockout range. Use this card right here, and it'll really help out a lot, but you gotta just learn which situation to play it in. So I'm playing 1 right now, but I recommend playing 2. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this card. Next, we're also playing 1 of Red and Blue. This is also to help out with evolution. So basically, you search your deck for 1 GX that evolves from one of your Pokemon. In this case, you want to search for Weavile, the only GX in your deck. Then you basically put it onto that Pokemon and evolve it, then shuffle your deck. So you can't use this card, of course, during the first turn on a Pokemon that was put into play. That's kind of why Wally got banned a little bit. But when you play this card from your hand, you may also discard 2 other cards, and if you do, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon that you evolved in that way. So basically, if you are able to evolve your Weavile this way, you already got 2 energy on the board, plus the one that you hopefully started out with Umbreon and Darkrai, and you can just instantly start attacking, most likely on turn 2, which is really, really good. So that's why we're running that. And then last but not least, we're playing a 1-line lid searcher strategy, just because this deck, most of the time, if you start out really good, starts out ahead, so you'll be able to get your lead and be able to extend it with this card right here by using 3 supporters. Technically 2, because this counts as 1, and then use 2 supporters afterwards, but it's really, really good. And that's pretty much it for the supporter lineup. Like I said, I would be playing 2 Mallow and Lana, and honestly, I'd probably take out Red and Blue, because even as good as this card is, most of the time you want to be able to play a draw supporter unless your hand's already stacked. But even then, you still want to play a draw supporter to get new cards in your hand and advance your board. So if you do play two Mallow and Lana, I suggest that you take out Red and Blue and put in Mallow and Lana. Or you could take out Lit Search if you want to. I don't recommend it. And put in Red and Blue. Just do some testing, in my opinion. Just see what you like. In my opinion, the deck is kind of fine as it is. Like I said, I want to take this Red and Blue out. And I kind of feeling taking out maybe Lit Surge or something else to be able to add a draw supporter into this deck. But as the deck is right now, it is fine. I tested out Oak's Theory in this deck at a tournament. It did not go well. I bricked the whole entire time. I played 4 Oak's Theory. I took out all my Lilies, all my Ericas, and it didn't go well. So I suggest you don't do that with this kind of deck. You may think it would help by getting a bunch of basics out, but it really doesn't. Like, you brick a lot. Like, the only match I did win was because my opponent bricked twice. So I went 1-3 the whole match. It was pretty bad. But luckily for me, it was free, so it didn't matter that much. But anyway, moving on, we are going to the items, and of course we're playing 3 Acrobike. So this card basically states that you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, discard the other. Now, ideally, you want to put energy into the discard, and then put the card that you want into your hand, because you want your Naganados to be able to scoop those energy up, and then put them onto there, and then be able to use Weavile's ability to use the Shadow, I can't remember the name. Shadow Connection. There we go. So that's what this Acrobike is there for. It's to be able to speed your deck up a little bit. Next, we're also playing a 2-line of Pokemon Communication. So let's say you got a Pokemon in your hand that you don't need at the moment, like Mew. Then you'll be able to get that out of hand, and then reveal a Pokemon from your deck that you might need. Maybe like you need a Sneasel in order to evolve, or you need an Umbreon Darkrai so you can get attacking. Whatever you need, basically this card right here will be able to put the card you don't need back into your deck and be able to search it out. Next, we're also playing a 2-line of Mysterious Treasure. This card also serves the purpose of discarding energy or any other cards that you don't need at the moment, and being able to search out your Naganadals and your Poipoles. You could also search out Mew, but we don't really need to do that most of the time. But if you do need to do it, you can also search out Mew with it. Next, we're also playing a 2-line of Cherish Ball. Now, I was playing 2-line of Tag Call, but I decided to take one of them out and also take out something else. Oh yeah, I took out Darkrai Prism Star, mostly because Darkrai Prism Star, even though it's good, you throw it on the bench, get 2 energy into your hand. This deck mostly revolves around Naganadel getting the energy and attaching it to itself, so I took it out. And I also took out one of the tag calls because most of the time, if you're going to be searching for tag team GXs, you want to be at least able to get one Umbreon and Darkrai and one Greninja and Zoroark at the time. You don't really need to search out for supporters that much. You'll probably be able to draw into those pretty easily with this deck. So we got 2 Cherish Ball here, and that's to help search out the Weavile and be able to, just basically help out with getting your board state a lot faster. I'm not good with words and everything like that, and we're already 15 minutes in, so I'm sorry I'm taking so long, but I really want to go into detail with this deck and how you should be able to play it. So, there you go. And then, of course, the one and only Great Catcher. You can discard 2 cards from your hand, and this is kind of your win condition with this deck, is you be able to hit your opponent's bench, knock them down a bit, and then use Great Catcher, and then take the knockout. So, in the near future, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be seeing a lot of that being played. So here's the one tag call that we're playing. So as you can see, search your deck for up to 2 tag team cards, whether they're supporters or Pokemon, and then put them to your hand. I was playing a 2-line of this, but I decided that most of the time I'm not going to be searching for these cards because I want to be able to have draw supporters in my hand. So I decided to play one just in case. And then we're also playing Beast Ring, which is really good for Naganadel, because let's say your opponent knocks out one of your Pokemon, then you could go ahead and hit him right back with this Beast Ring and be able to attach 2 energy onto your Naganadel, and if you have your Weavile out, be able to counterattack with your Umbreon and Darkrai or your Greninja and Zoroark, whatever you need to do. That's what this Beast Ring is here for. And I'm only playing one mostly because this deck's not revolving around Ultra Beast, and it's only going to be useful if we get Naganadel out pretty early. And we're also not playing 4 of it because we don't want a brick. And then finally, for our trainer cards, we are playing a 2-line of Dark City to be able to get a free retreat and be able to move our cards around. We're playing a 2-line of Chaos as well to play against, really stadium heavy decks, because right now the stadium war is still going on, and this deck is really weak against Power Plant because Power Plant shuts down my abilities. So this right here is really important for decks that play against Dark Box or want to try and counter it. Next, we're also playing a 1-line of Viridian Forest that's going to help discard your energy or discard a card out of your hand to be able to search for an energy. And speaking of energy, we are playing a 4, 8, 11 stack of energy right here, which is really, really good. It helps it to where you're not always drawing into energy, but at the same time, there's always going to be energy in your hand. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know I took a long time talking about this. This is probably my longest deck profile to date, but I just really wanted to go into depth with deck profiles and be able to get really, really good with this. So I hope you all enjoyed, and this is going to be Silverleafeon signing off. Peace, and I hope you all have a good one.
Return to the Mac, you know what it is,